Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another brand new video. I hope you guys are all doing well. So, of course, in this video, I want to talk about Bitcoin, and I really want you guys to, keep your eye on Bitcoin for this year alone in 2023. That's right. This year alone in 2023. Forget about 2024, forget about 2025. Think about now, the present time for Bitcoin. Okay, and understand, right, just looking at the charts where Bitcoin, right, will potentially be heading, okay, in the next few months, and of course, towards the end of this year in 2023. Now, I've been mentioning this many times to you guys, right? If you guys have in fact been watching my videos, if you guys have in fact been watching my streams and whatnot, I've been mentioning this a fair bit, right, in my videos and my streams, that I really do believe personally. Now, this is just obviously my personal prediction, right, for where I see Bitcoin heading, but I really do see Bitcoin reaching at least $50,000 or over $50,000 towards the end of this year in 2023. So yes, guys, my Bitcoin price prediction for this year alone in 2023 is around 50K or over 50K, right? So I'm going to talk about that in today's video on why I really do believe, potentially we will in fact see that for Bitcoin. And you guys understand, right? This will potentially happen. It's a very realistic price for Bitcoin to reach, this price target towards the end of this year. And you guys understand we are almost there, right? $50,000 is all the way up here. We're just all the way down here, right? Bitcoin is nowhere near, obviously $50,000, right? But it's only 20K away from hitting that, right? And we know, guys, for the past like 6 months, Bitcoin has pumped like over $15,000 in just about 6 months time, right? So half a year. So, I really do believe, okay, by November or December, I think we will easily see that happen for Bitcoin, right? So in this video, I want to talk about that. And of course, I want to show you guys a fair few charts indicating that we will potentially see that for Bitcoin, this year alone in 2023. So yes, Bitcoin right now, you guys can clearly see, if I go back to the daily time frame, you guys can clearly see that it's still consolidating at this level. Once again, we actually saw Bitcoin pump to $31,000, and that's obviously a very heavy resistance line for Bitcoin, and actually took another retest back down to the downside, and now it's back at $30,000. So right now, Bitcoin's got at 30,600. In my opinion, it's still holding up amazing, right? It really is. As long as Bitcoin is above $30,000, I'm not worried. Even if Bitcoin does in fact have a correction and breaks support at $29,000 or $28,000, that is a-okay. You know what I mean? Because I know that Bitcoin's not going to drop massively. You know what I mean? If it does in fact have a correction, it's only going to have a small correction, possibly back down to $29,000 to $28,000, and that is it. So in my opinion, Bitcoin is still holding up very, very well. We know recently Bitcoin has in fact been pumping, right? We all know that, guys. Okay, and you guys can just clearly see that throughout 2023, Bitcoin has in fact been pumping and pretty much recovering from its lows that we saw back in November and December. So the markets today is looking way better than yesterday, just like what I showed you guys in my most previous video. The global crypto market cap is currently at 1.21 trillion, so way higher than yesterday. Yesterday was at like 1.19 trillion, so now it's back above 1.2, so that's amazing. And overall, the market's up 1.5%. Okay, so that's amazing to see for the crypto market. A fair few altcoins are in fact pumping, but majority of them are not really moving today, but they're still holding up very well. You guys can clearly see that, right, for the past 24 hours. Now, like I said, I want to show you guys a fair few charts indicating that Bitcoin will have another rally up to the upside, a new rally, right? Because we know Bitcoin has in fact been consolidating for the past like 2 weeks now, right? In between, $30,000 and of course $31,000. So in this video, I really want to talk about that, right? Because Bitcoin has in fact been moving on its side for a very long time. 2 weeks is pretty long, okay? And I really do believe soon enough we're going to break out of that. We're going to reach $32,000, and it's just going to have another leg up. So, this just came out a few hours ago by this person, literally like an hour ago, and it's indicating that Bitcoin did in fact have it did in fact pump to $31,000, and now it's back down to 30K. Okay, so yes, $31,000 is obviously a very, very strong resistance line for Bitcoin, right? It really is, and I told you guys many times, right? Once we actually see Bitcoin break, in my opinion, $32,000, reaching a new high for this year in 2023. We're going to see another leg up, right? If you guys haven't seen my most previous video, okay, the one that I literally just uploaded, you should definitely check out that video because I talk more in depth about that. But still, Bitcoin is still holding up very, very well at this support level of 30K. Okay, now, this is also another chart that I want to show you guys. Okay, what happened in April for Bitcoin? Who remembers, right? Back in April. Okay, so back in April, right? If I just show you guys right here, we actually saw Bitcoin pump. Okay, we saw Bitcoin, consolidate a fair bit right here, right, for a few weeks, right, just like what we're seeing right now. And then out of nowhere, it did in fact have this pump up, right? You guys can clearly see that. So what this chart right here is showing is something pretty similar, right? What happened in April for Bitcoin could potentially happen for this month in July, right? We know July, okay, is obviously a great month for Bitcoin. Previous years for July, like last year in 2021, back in 2020 even, we saw Bitcoin perform pretty well for the month of July, right? So July, Bitcoin does perform pretty well. So I've told you guys many times, I'm expecting Bitcoin to pump this month, okay? And I'm expecting Bitcoin to reach at least $35,000 this month of July, right? I really do see that happening for Bitcoin, right? It could not happen, but I personally think that's going to happen for Bitcoin. Okay, so you guys can clearly see it was in fact moving on its side. Okay, it was in fact consolidating in between a support level and a resistance line. Okay, so it was in fact moving it sideways from the PA, it's called. Okay, and you guys can clearly see that it did in fact break out of it. Okay, so it seems like majority of the time, every time we see this, where Bitcoin is in fact consolidating, most of the time, okay, yes, it does in fact have rejections, but sometimes, most times, it does actually break out of it. Okay, just like recently, right? We saw Bitcoin, have this downtrend, very slow downtrend, and a break out of that, right? Massively, you guys can clearly see that. So right now, it's obviously consolidating. So I think we will in fact see a breakout. And once Bitcoin actually reaches 32K, it's all ups from here, guys. We're going to see another, leg up for Bitcoin. Okay, and it's going to reach at least $35,000. Potentially this month in July. I actually want to see Bitcoin reach 35K, towards the end of this month in July. But that's that. Now, like I said, right, when Bitcoin breaks above $32,000, a massive pump is going to happen. Okay, and like I said, okay, once it actually breaks $32,000, okay, it's going to have another leg up. That's exactly what this chart is indicating. Okay, so it seems like this person is, having the same idea on what I'm having in my head right now. And when I'm looking at the Bitcoin chart, right, it's pretty similar. You know what I mean? This is exactly what I'm seeing. Okay, so every single time, guys, you guys understand, right? Bitcoin reaches this resistance line, it most likely breaks out of it. And that's exactly what we have, in fact, been seeing all of this year in 2023, right? So we know back in November and December, Bitcoin was, in fact, at its bottom right down here. You guys probably can't see it because of my camera, but it's right down here, right? And then we saw it break above. We saw it pump out of nowhere massively, right? And then it had a little correction, okay, and it pumped again, okay, and it dropped all the way back down to like $20,000 or below 20K, right? Around 19.8, and then it pumped out of nowhere, and it was in fact back above this resistance line, okay, and a break out of it, you guys can clearly see, okay, and it touched another resistance line. Now, this is April now, right? Just like what I showed you guys right here, okay, happened right here, right? So obviously, and then after that, right, we saw a slow consolidation, not consolidation, but a downtrend for Bitcoin, for a very slow downtrend, right, for Bitcoin, we know that. And then it just broke out of that, right? It broke the resistance, and here we are right now. So Bitcoin right now is obviously back at its resistance line of, pretty much $31,000 or 30K. And soon enough, we're going to break out of that, guys. And it's going to, Bitcoin's obviously going to create a new high. It's obviously a very similar pattern, guys, to what we have been seeing all of this year in 2023, right? So yes, once we break above 32K, massive pump, a massive movement for Bitcoin will continue on to the upside. You guys understand this entire year, Bitcoin's going to recover, right? This entire year, Bitcoin is slowly recovering from its lows and from this falling wedge that we have, in fact, been seeing all of 2022. We know how bad 2022 was. Bitcoin was obviously dropping massively, and just cryptocurrency in general, right? Because we were, in fact, in a heavy bear market. Obviously, that's when we were officially entering the bear market. And we hit bottom, which was $15,000, and now we're slowly getting out of that. You guys can clearly see that, right? So Bitcoin is clearly breaking out from this falling wedge and, clearly forming a new pattern up to the upside. That's why I always say, guys, it's all up from here, right? Bitcoin is slowly recovering, and that's exactly what we're going to see all of, 2023. Bitcoin's going to recover. And you guys can clearly see that, yes, Bitcoin is almost near halfway back to its all-time highs. Okay, it really is. Obviously, if Bitcoin, reaches $35,000, which it will, right? It will. Once we see Bitcoin reach $35,000, okay, that's when I'll say we are pretty much halfway through, back up to Bitcoin's all-time highs, right? Which was $69,000, Okay, so once we hit 35k, then I would say yes, we are in fact halfway there to reaching back up to Bitcoin's previous highs. We're not quite there yet, obviously, right? We are just 5,000 shy, but we will eventually get there. Okay, potentially this month. I really want to see Bitcoin reach 35k, this month of July. And I think that's going to happen, right? Because usually, like I said, July is a great month for Bitcoin. But that's that. So you guys clearly see, yes, it's all up from here. Okay, you guys clearly see this was in fact the 2021 floor level, and this is where we saw Bitcoin, right, at like $30,000. This was actually our last time seeing Bitcoin at around 30k, $31,000, $32,000. You know what I mean? Back in 2021, around July, I want to say, around there. Okay, you guys clearly see. I think it's around May or June, somewhere around there. The last time we actually saw Bitcoin at like 30k, you know what I mean? And then ever since then, it's obviously dropped, right? You guys clearly see that. Now we're slowly recovering back up to this level, right? So now we have this floor level, this 2021 floor level, and Bitcoin is on the edge to break out of it, right? You guys can clearly see that. So how can you be bullish, right? Just looking at this chart right now, like just letting you guys know, like how can you be bearish? I mean, not bullish, but bearish, right? With Bitcoin. You know what I mean? We all should be bullish right now, guys, right? We shouldn't be bearish, right? How can you not be bullish right now looking at this Bitcoin chart? We all should be very, very bullish. Obviously, Bitcoin is slowly recovering from its lows, right? Right down here, its previous lows, right? So it's all us from here, guys. Okay, I'm telling you guys that right now. And this person is indicating that Bitcoin will reach back up to, these previous highs right up here. You guys clearly see that, right? 99k, we'll round up to 100k, 125k, and $180,000, right? So time will tell, we will see, but that will eventually happen. Okay, it will happen, guys. So I also want to show you guys this chart. It's very, very important. But historically, right, a bull market starts when the weekly stoic, I think that's how you pronounce it, RSI pulls back and maintains the middle band level. Okay, we just saw that happen as Bitcoin pulled back to $25,000 and rebound. So it is time for the next bull market. But I will say this, guys, we're not 100%. Okay, I want to say we are in fact 100% in a bull market just yet. Even though yes, Bitcoin has in fact been pumping. We are still obviously in a bear market, in my opinion. Yes, Bitcoin has in fact been pumping. Okay, it's just having a slow recovery. Okay, I really do believe all of 2023 is just we're just gonna see Bitcoin slowly recover back up to its previous highs. Okay, and then 2024 and 2025, that's when we're gonna see a parabolic movement for Bitcoin, right? So you guys understand. Okay, we're not 100% in a bull market just yet. We're still in a bear market, but I will say this: we are in fact in the beginning, in its early stages of the next bull market. That's what I would say, right? So it's time, guys. It's time for Bitcoin to really pump, and that will in fact happen very, very soon. And I want you guys to really keep your eye on Bitcoin, okay, and understand that it will pump to $50,000 towards the end of this year in 2023, right? It just will. So mark my words on that. Now, Bitcoin. Every single time, okay, we do in fact enter, the next, bear market, Bitcoin drops and whatnot, and then Bitcoin does in fact slowly recover. It's going to be a slow bull, right? So meaning we're going to see slow pumps for Bitcoin. Okay, and that's exactly what we are in fact seeing right now. We know Bitcoin is slowly recovering back up to its previous all-time highs. Okay, it's obviously clearly breaking out from its bottom, right, its previous lows, and now it's obviously, slowly going back up to the upside. It's creating new parabolic movements up to the upside. We know that. Okay, a new pattern to the upside. So it's going to be very slow. Okay, it's a whole process, guys. Okay, we've got to be very, very patient right now. This is the time to really DCA. Okay, we're still in the bar zone, right? I've been telling you that many, many times. And then after that, right, once the halving actually happens, right, the fourth halving, okay, around April 2024, which is going to be the next halving, and that is literally right around the corner. That's literally, less than a year from now. We're going to see a parabolic movement for Bitcoin, right? Just like every year, right? Every year, once we see, the halving happened, okay, we're not going to see a massive movement just yet, but like give it a few weeks time, give it a few months time. Once the halving actually happens, and then we're going to see a parabolic movement for Bitcoin. That's exactly what we're going to see for Bitcoin, towards the end of 2024 and 2025, just like what we saw in 2021, right? So be excited for that, guys. Okay, and this chart is also just showing that as well, that we all should be very, very, patient with Bitcoin. Okay, price action, right? It's going to be very slow. You know what I mean? Like Bitcoin's obviously going to slowly recover. Okay, but times like this, we should really be buying. It gives us time to buy. So I don't want you guys to miss this chance. You know what I mean? The clock is ticking, right? Literally. Okay. And you guys understand Bitcoin will eventually pump to 35K, to 40K, 45K, 50K, 55K, 60K, back up to its previous all-time high at 69K. And of course, it will eventually reach a new all-time high, sometime in the year 2024, next year, right? So you guys understand, it still gives us time right now at this present time, at this present day right now, as I film this video, as you're watching this video, gives us time to buy as much Bitcoin as we possibly can. You still have time, guys, but understand that the clock is ticking. You don't have very much time left, right? You really don't. So take this as an opportunity to buy, okay? And you guys understand, every cycle it's gonna slow. It'd be very, very slow. You know what I mean? That's exactly what we are in fact seeing for Bitcoin right now. Okay, very, very slow movements, upsides. All of 2023 is just going to be a slow recovery for Bitcoin from its previous lows. Okay, so that's why we have in fact been seeing Bitcoin, pump, okay, back up to its previous eventually will get up to its previous highs, but you guys can clearly see it's slowly forming a new pattern up to the upside, right, from its previous lows. So that's exactly what all of this year, in 2023 is going to be, right? Bitcoin slowly recovering back up to its previous highs. Okay, so that's that, guys. So it's looking pretty good for Bitcoin. And once the halving obviously happens, that is when the absolute parabolic movement will in fact happen for Bitcoin. Not just Bitcoin, but altcoins, and we call that alt season, right? So alt season is obviously going to come, and that's when we're going to see a lot of altcoins in the market pump as well. Just like we saw in 2021, we saw Dogecoin pumping, we saw Cardano, we saw Solana, we saw Polygon, we saw Polkadot, Chainlink, Cosmos, Uniswap, you name it. Majority of these altcoins, Shiba Inu, right, were in fact pumping in 2021. And that's exactly what we're going to see in 2025 potentially, right? So guys, that is pretty much it for this video. And that is why, guys, I really do believe, okay, we will eventually see Bitcoin reach at least $50,000 or over $50,000 towards the end of this year in 2023. So you guys let me know in the comments down below, what is your personal price predictions for Bitcoin this year in 2023? Let me know. I'd love to know. And on that, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end this one here. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Give thumbs up, subscribe if you guys haven't already. I really would appreciate that. Let's get to 3,000 subscribers. And on that, guys, hope you guys have a blessed day as always, and I'll catch you guys all in my next video. Have a blessed day, guys.